Students will go for third problem, which is slightly different from the earlier. A manufacturer of patent medicine is proposing to prepare a production plan for medicine A and medicine B. There are sufficient ingredients available to make 20,000 bottles of medicine A, 40,000 bottles of medicine B. However, there are only 45,000 empty bottles available for filling up either A or B or both. Underline A or B or both. Means put together, that is a question says there are 45,000 empty bottles available. Further, it takes 3 hours to prepare enough material to fill 1000 bottles A and 1 hour to fill 1000 bottle of B. And there are 66 hours available for completing the process and preparing the materials. The profit is rupees 8 per bottle of medicine A and rupees 7 per bottle of medicine B. Formulate LPP. 2-3 points you have to note. Point 1, there are empty bottles which are 45,000. Point 2, all put together the available time is 66 hours. But the very important point what you have to catch up is, they are given 3 hours to fill 1000 bottle, not one bottle. Therefore, the time is what is given for 1000 bottles of A, 1000 bottles of B. Therefore, what we will take, x1 is nothing but 1000 bottles. We will take product A equals number of units as x1, which is in thousands. If I say 5, it is 5000. Similarly, product B, I can take it as x2, this is also in thousands. Now, first one, if first line we have to take about the profit. Students, refer the question, last line it says 8 rupee per bottle of medicine A profit. Similarly, it is 7 rupee per bottle of medicine B, the profit given. Suppose if it is, say, let us consider 5000 bottles. Now, this is 5, and if I say 8 rupee per bottle, 8 into 5 it becomes 40. Your answer should be 40,000. Therefore, what we will take, Z about the profit, obviously it is maximum, it is 8 rupee per bottle, this is in thousands. I cannot write it is 5, 6 something like that. It should be, I have to convert, if I have to take this is in 1000 bottles, for 1000 bottle what is the profit? Hope you are getting my words. Since x1 represent 1000, number of bottles in 1000, I should take 1000 bottle, what is the profit? Then only it will be correct. 1 bottle 8, 1000 bottle 8000. 8000 bottles, 8000 profit for 1000 bottles into how many units? x1. Let us assume to clarity, there are 5000 bottles to manufacture. 5000, I write 5 here, here 8000. So, 5 into 8000, 40,000. Is it correct? 1 bottle 8 rupee, 1000 8000 into 5, which is 40,000. Similarly, what about bottle B? It is 7 rupee per bottle, whereas x2 is in thousands of bottle. I should take profit for 1000 bottles of B. 1 it is 7, it is 7,000 rupees. This is first one, nothing but objective function. If you raise the question, sir, every problem you have taken directly x1 as number of units. Why do you take 1000 bottles suddenly in this problem? If at all you raise this question, answer is here. The time given 3 hours, not for 1 unit, not for 1 bottle, for 1000 bottles 3 hours are required. Therefore, the processing time is given for 1000 bottles. Therefore, 1000 bottles as x1 and here also similarly 1000 bottles of B as x2. Next one, subject to 2. There are mainly 2 constraints. Students, can you tell what are the 2 constraints? First constraint about time required. How many hours available? Maximum 66. How do you fill it? For 1000 bottles 3 hours. For 1000 bottles. There are x1 units of medicine A, which is in thousands. I should take 3x1. Suppose if there are, let us consider you produced 5000 bottles of medicine A. Student, can you answer? For 1000 3 hours, for 5000 3 into 5 15, which is correct. Like that I have to work out even the second one also. Second one directly it is given 1 hour for 1000 bottles of medicine B. So, I can take 1x2. This is the time, processing time for medicine A, processing time for medicine B, both put together maximum available time how much? Student, read the question and tell me, will you get that last 1 or 2 line if you refer. Maximum time available for completing the process and filling the required medicine is only 66. There is one more constraint along with that. It says this is about the time. Next one is about to fill it you need to have bottles, empty bottles. It says A or B or both put together 45,000 bottles only available. You do not have more than 45,000. Therefore, I can take x1, x2, 1000 bottles of medicine A, 1000 in thousands bottles of medicine A, thousands bottles of medicine B. If I take say example 10 and if I take 20, 10,000 bottles of medicine A, 20,000 bottles of medicine B, both put together 30,000. But what is the maximum that I can have? Maximum is less than or equal to, the time is 45,000 empty bottles. This is 10, 20, total 30. Since it is in thousands, if I write 45, it is sufficient. Both put together 45,000 bottles of medicine A and B and both. These two are okay. In this problem, you have an extra information. Now, all of you have to go for second line. There are sufficient ingredients available to make medicine A is 20,000 bottles only. It means whatever you have to fill in for medicine A, that is only that ingredients, the requirement to fill it, you are sufficient material in that, ingredient in that. For A, it is only 20,000. How do you write? It is all about product A, which is x1. This can be up to 20,000 bottles, you can do it. Therefore, I can write x1, that is thousands of bottles, maximum can be 20. This number cannot be more than 20 because the ingredients is only 20,000 bottles. Similarly, students, can you answer for x2? What is the maximum ingredients you can fill it? How many bottles you can fill it with the help of the available ingredients for medicine B? There it is given 40,000 bottles. What and all you want to fill in medicine B, what and all you have to fill in the medicine, what and all you want to fill in that bottle B, the medicine, the ingredient available only for 40,000 bottles, x2 less than or equal to 40. This is in 1000, this is also in 1000, so it is correct. Last one, all these details okay, but number of bottles, can it be negative? No. That is as usual, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So, these 4 together, it is structural constraint subject to non-negativity constraint 3. So, let us recapitulate this whole solution. The time which is given for 1000 bottles of medicine A 3 hours, 1000 bottles of medicine B 1 hour. This is the point which you have to catch. So, 1000 bottles is the unit. A represents the product medicine A x1 units, where x1 is in thousands. Similarly, B x2 units, it is in thousands. The profit 8 per unit, but this is in thousands. Since this is in thousands, I should take profit for 1000. So, 8 for 1 unit, for 1000, 8000. Same here, both put together total profit. Profit should be maximized, which you also accept. Subject to what is the time available? Here 1000 bottles 3 hours. Like that, some thousands of bottles x1 into 3, 1 into x2, both put together 66 hours. Next is, this is about first one. Now about the bottles available. To fill it, you need to have empty bottles, whether A or B or both. Why they are given both? I think the bottle size are same. Either you can fill in that or this. Both put together 45,000 bottles are available. These are in 1000, this is also in 1000. Next, the filling medicine, the ingredient, raw material, what you are going to fill it, the product A, you can fill it only for 20,000 bottles. That much is only the stock available to fill it. Therefore, x1 less than or equal to 20. Similarly, x2 less than or equal to 40, because product B 40,000 bottles. Finally, subject to negativity should not be there, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Students, after learning this, now we have to work out how do you solve the LPP, the methods of solving LPP. Let us look at in the next one. Dear students, in this session we will look into the solution of an LPP. So just to give you a flashback of what you learnt in the earlier part, LPP has three parts. Now first, before going to that, what is LPP is about? LPP is about a problem. What is LPP full form? Linear programming problem, not lot put problem. Very important problem for your examination. It is LPP is a problem which deals with maximizing your revenue or profit or minimizing cost, considering two types of constraints. One is a structural constraint like men, material, machinery, market, management, methods. These are all the constraints that you have. It is structural constraints. Any number of products that you are going to manufacture cannot be negative, non-negativity constraint. So LPP has three parts: objective function, structural constraints, non-negativity constraint. When we solve the types of equation or linear the inequalities, the structure of the linear inequalities will come. What is that linear? Linear means you will get x, y in power 1, not 2, no quadratic, no cubic. Since it involves the linear constraints, we call this kind of problem as linear programming problem. See, any linear equation, linear, students, what is the full linear if at all you spell out? L-I-N-E-A-R. Linear includes a line. It is a straight line. So any linear inequality or linear equation represents a line on the graph, straight line on the graph. It is all about a coordinate geometry taking a straight line. In simple words, you take graph, you take the linear equations and we solve. Now this is about a backdrop of LPP. To solve LPP, there are two methods. One is graphical method, other one is simplex method. In your syllabus, only the graphical method is explained, whether it is maths or about the subject stats. Now, when we say about graphical method, how exactly you go about? So the graphical method of LPP, I have considered the 6 steps which you have to remember. First step, write inequalities as equalities. Students, all of you write. Being a very important chapter, definitely it carries very good marks in the examination. Let us work out especially the first problem little slower. Once you get a grip of it, any type of problem you can crack. So another 10-15 minutes if you concentrate properly, definitely 5 mark one question in your pocket. So you don't want to miss that. So let us look at the steps properly. Write down in your notebook. First one, write inequalities as equalities. Just before the examination you want to glance, you can glance these steps so that it will be very clear to you. Point 2, draw the lines with the help of corner points. Here inequalities as equalities, find corner points. Draw lines with the corner points. Third step, shade feasible region based on inequality, less than, greater than, all that will come under this. Find any new corner point if required. This is the point number 4 or step number 4. Substitute the corner points of feasible region in Z, means your objective function. Write the optimum value and the optimum solution. So these are all the steps. Now I will work out one particular problem and I will explain those steps and we will go according to those steps. What is the LPP? See, there are two ways the question can be framed. Question type 1 is, they will give a situation, mathematical formulation, you need to analyze everything and you have to write it as LPP. How do you write it? 3 parts, objective, structural constraint, non-negativity. Other part is they give you LPP, they give you linear programming problem. Problem will be there, you are going to solve LPP. Here is your first question, Z max is equal to 30x plus 40y. It is 1. 1 means what? Always objective function. What is the 2 is about it is subject to, there are some problems, conditions, constraint, limitations you have in your business. These are all the limitations. 3x plus 6y less than or equal to 180, 4x plus 4y less than or equal to 200. Subject to number of products you have taken x, y, no, number of units of production cannot be negative, greater than or equal to 0. Any LPP will involve this. Students, first we have to consider inequality as equalities. Now I am doing the solution. All of you write this question again. We will work out the solution step by step. First step is this, whatever we have it, we have to consider only the structural constraint. There are two. What is that first one? 3x plus 6y is equal to 180. Here only you can write, but I will write down. That is 4x plus 4y is equal to 200. Okay. We have written the two inequalities what is given to you. Next step, we have to consider corner points. What do you mean by corner points? If at all I have to draw a line, I need to have 2 points. I will take one on x axis, one on y axis. So that graph part I will just discuss little later. We will take like this. We will take x, we will take y. X 0, students, 3x plus 6y equals 180. If I put x 0, 3 into 0, 0, 180 by 6 will be 30. Second time if I put y 0, 6 into 0, 0, 180 by 3 will become 60. Shall we write 2 points? See, in general any point is represented as x comma y with the proper signs, means positive, negative, you have to be careful. So any point is not x, x, 0, 60 will be x, x, it should be x, y, 0, 30. And other one is here 60, 0. This is about point A, point B. Let us look at the next one here. X, y, students, can you tell first? We will take x equals 0. Why you take always x equals 0? Any point you can take. We want one on x axis, one on y axis. X axis means y 0. Y axis means x 0. That is so that you can connect easily. That's all. But no rule that you have to take. You can take some other number also. We will take x 0. 4y equals 200, y is equal to 50. If I take y equals 0, so 4 into 0, 0, 200 by 4, 50. So I will take these 2 points as CD. As I have already told, take x, y 0, 50 and here x, y will be 50, 0. We have corner points. Now first step, we have to consider inequalities as equalities, which is here. We have to find corner points which you have taken. AB is the corner point to draw the line 3x plus 6y equals 180. Same C and D are the corner points to find out 4x plus 4y equals 200. Let us go to the second step, my dear students. Draw the lines with the corner points. How do you draw the lines with the corner points? If at all you are going to draw, you need to have 2 points. Join those 2 points, line will be formed. Let us consider the graph first. Okay. Now what is this graph about? Little flashback about schooling maths, what you learnt about graph or coordinate or Cartesian geometry. Cartesian was the first mathematician to introduce this x and y graph. What he has done is, he has taken some numbers, say some of them are positive, some of them are negative, who called as x. He has taken some points on y. So actually if at all a plane area I have, with one line I can divide into 2 parts, another line I can divide into another 2 parts. This he called as x-axis, this he called as y-axis, intersecting point he called as origin. I think these are all the basics you remember. Now what is this, any point, if I say about 2, 3 or if I say about -4, -5, it comes here. What is that about? X value 2, y value 3, if you do a cross product, if you multiply x-axis value with y-axis value, if you take x2, y3, that order pair he called as a point. So point is nothing but it is a order pair what you get. First is about x-axis value, second is about y-axis value. This x here we write positive, here y positive, here x negative, y negative. So any point is represented by x, y. So x positive, y, therefore that is positive, positive, x negative, y positive, negative, negative, whereas here x positive, y negative. This is x-axis, whereas this is y-axis. This base we need to have to work out this. Now whether graph sheet will be provided in the examination. If provided, very good. If not given, you can claim it. No, you have to take. Even if it is not there, still you can do. Actually graph with, if you have the graph sheet, is better. But without graph sheet also you can do, but in examination you have to claim the graph sheet so that you can plot the points in the graph, correct value identify. Alright, let us move on. So we will write this as horizontal line as x-axis, x dash, y dash, origin. So what are the points? X-axis, this all, first one is all about x, no? Highest value you have is 60. We will take it as 1 centimeter is equal to 10. You have to write the scale. 1 centimeter on x-axis it is 10. Y-axis also we will take 1 centimeter is equal to 10 units. Okay. We can go up to writing x-axis. What is the highest value? 60. So we can say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Whereas y 70 are written because it ends with only 60 here. Whereas here on other side we should go up to 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Students, what is the first point you have to plot? It is 0, 30. X-axis 0, 0 here, y-axis 30. The first point is we will call A. So write in your notebook 0 and 30 comes point A. Even if the graph sheet is not there, write in your notebook itself. So 30, 0, 30 point A. What about 60, 0, x value 60, y value 0, this we will call point B. So see that 0 you ignore it. Example x0 leave it, y value 30, y axis positive 30, negative means down. Similarly here x60, y0 ignore it, x value 60 here. Now we will draw this line, draw these points and we will call this line as line 1. 1 represents 3x plus 6y equals 180. Now we will take second one. What is the second one? x0, y50. x0, ignore it, y axis 50. So this is, I will take it as point C. Next step, whereas the D 50, 0, x50, y0 same. This is point D. Shall we join these two? Yes, this is line 2. Students, we have line 1, we have line 2. So when we join, it became intersecting lines. So there is one intersecting point. That point A, B, C, D over, I will call it as E. Some other letter we will introduce. So we have two lines. Students, can we make out what step we completed? First step we completed. Second step we have worked out. Draw the lines with the corner points, with the help of corner points. Third step, very important step, shade the feasible region. Here students will go wrong. Now what is that feasible region is about? See, whenever you take that linear inequalities, there are constraints. Now this is less than. This constraint you need to know. Keeping that in constraint, you have to find out feasible region. Feasible region is that region which satisfies your constraint. I'll repeat my words. feasible region is that region, that area which satisfies all the constraints. There are two constraints, structural, non-negative. Both the constraints should be satisfied. I have to find out that area, maybe triangle, maybe quadrilateral, maybe unbounded. All that area I have to find out. How do you find out? It is based on inequality. Students, in the given case here, what type of inequality? You have less than, you have less than. We need to know there can be less than type, greater than type, or it can be equal. If it is equality, it is equal. So, you need to consider what they do, less than type for 2, greater than type for 2 variables, they give only less than for one variable. Example, one variable, I will write it as one variable here. That we will discuss little later. Now, this is very important, please make a note, whenever you have less than, you have to shade towards origin. Whenever you have less than, that area, shading area comes towards origin. Whenever it is greater than, shading area goes beyond origin or against origin.